Bizarre people with extraordinary body parts. In a world filled with wonders, some individuals stand out for their unique physical characteristics. These people have captured the world's attention, reminding us that life can be far from ordinary. But what is it about these strange features that fascinates us? Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey of the lives of these bizarre people with extraordinary body parts. Jyoti Amge. What if I told you that someone with a tiny stature can command world attention? Well, Jyoti Amge is just an example of that. Born on December 16, 1993 in Nagpur, India, Jyoti holds the Guinness World Record for being the smallest woman on Earth. Standing at just 2 feet, 0.6 inches, that is 62.8 centimeters. Let's say that is approximately the height of a toddler. In fact, she's used it as her superpower to stand out. But you know what? Jyoti might be petite in stature, but she boasts a personality as big as one of the best little kids. Jyoti's fame didn't just come from her diminutive height, but also because she is an actress. Her journey to the spotlight began with her passion for acting, where she made her first appearance in the India television series Mohi. But that is not all. Her role in the Freak Show was what put her on the map. You can imagine a tiny woman stealing the show among other noticeable actors. If that's not a plot twist, then what else? Jyoti played the role of Ma Petite, a character with a name as cute as a button that kept the audience confused if they should be scared or impressed. Well, you might be wondering what the cause of her height is. It is due to a condition called achondroplasia, a form of dwarfism, but she's never let it hold her back. In 2018, Jyoti made history when she became the world's shortest woman to receive a Guinness World Record certificate. Talk about a trophy that fits right into your pocket. She says, "I'm proud to be the world's shortest woman." Jyoti has often seen her stature as a blessing rather than something to regret. Despite her fame, Jyoti is considered down to earth, often seen joking about her height. She would make fun of herself, saying, "I never have to worry about hitting my head on door frames. In fact, I can walk under the radar." Literally. Her family and friends are her biggest cheerleaders, and she credits them for her success. "Without them, I'd just be a really short girl talking to herself in the mirror." Looking ahead, Jyoti has big dreams, figuratively speaking, of course. She's eager to continue her acting career and inspire others to embrace their uniqueness. "I want to show the world that anything is possible, even if you need a ladder to reach the top shelf." Zhang Ruifang. Can you imagine having a pimple for a long time? Well, this lady doesn't have a pimple, but what she has is very impressive to see. Imagine living the life of an ordinary girl only to get older and things become more extraordinary. In 2010, a 101-year-old Chinese grandmother named Zhang Ruifang gained 15 minutes of fame for having 2 horns sprouting from her forehead. The first horn had measured nearly 2.5 inches, while the second had just begun to grow. At first, it all started as a joke with an unusual condition that began with a rough patch of skin that gradually transformed into a horn. It was later discovered to be a cutaneous horn, which is composed of compacted keratin, which can be found in hair and nails. In fact, she was very amused like everyone else, as people, media, and even neighbors were curious to document this real-life unicorn. Her case set off great curiosity and more than a few fits of head-scratching among medical practitioners, though Zhang seemed unruffled by it all. After 100+ years, what's a little extra bonk? She claims, "I am more steady. Sometimes I don't feel any pain at all." Zhang had always possessed a good sense of humor and a calm spirit, according to the Chinese press. She was always joking about her new accessory. Therefore, while Zhang Ruifang's horn may have been somewhat strange, it was not as strange as her merry spirit, nor her capacity to take oddities in her stride, including one that grew out of her head. But then, she was right. No matter what else might come along, sure enough, there would be something else worth chuckling at. Lee Redmond. Growing nails is often seen as a fashion statement, but let's talk about a woman who took that fashion to an entirely new level. Yeah, you heard that right. Born and brought up in Salt Lake City, Utah, Lee Redmond decided on a fateful day in 1979 never to cut her nails. It all started with a simple experiment that turned into an everlasting commitment to the world's longest nails. By the time Lee got to her highest in 2008, her nails had grown to a mind-blowing length of 28 feet 4.5 inches. That is 8.65 meters. To break it down, that's about the length of a small bus. Each nail was a masterpiece of endurance and patience combined together. You might be wondering, how does she carry out her daily activities with a nail as long as that? Well, her daily activities like washing dishes, laundry, or even using the bathroom became a fork of workout in skill and cleverness. Lee adapted and adjusted often, using her knuckles to carry out what we do with ease. Imagine trying to type on your keyboard or pick up a call with nails as long as your arms, like your life depends on it. Well, Lee didn't manage it all. Let's just say she strived. But you know what? Despite the challenges, Lee had an I don't care attitude about her unique situation. For Lee, her nails weren't just a groundbreaking feature, they were part of her psyche. Although, maintaining the world's longest nails wasn't all rosy. Lee had to be extremely careful with the kind of activities she does that will jeopardize its precious growth. She treated her nails like her babies, each one nurtured and well protected. It was always found neat, moisturized, and as healthy as 2-foot-long nails can be. Unfortunately, in 2009, there was a change of story. Lee was involved in a car accident that caused serious injuries which caused her previous nails to break beyond repair. It was like the end of an era. Her record-breaking nails were all gone. She was grateful for being alive. She saw it as a price to pay for her survival. "At least now I can scratch an itch," she said. Yu Zhenhuan. Yu Zhenhuan didn't just come into the world. He entered the world covered in a coat of hair that made him look like a bear. Yu Zhenhuan, known as the hairiest man in the world, has a story full of wonder and keeps you fascinated. Born in Liaoning province of China in 1979, Yu was born with a unique feature. He was all covered in hair. Now, not just the ordinary baby hair, but a thick, dark coat covering 96% of his body. By the time he clocked 2, Yu wasn't just hairy, he was now on his way to becoming a living, movable teddy bear. As he became older, his condition, which was known as hypertrichosis, or maybe we can call it werewolf syndrome, made everyone curious. Imagine being a kid who tries to make new friends, and instead of being asked to play games, you're asked how you grew so much hair at such a tender age. But Yu saw a brighter light in this, and turned it into a career. With the help of his parents, he grew stronger in a world that wasn't kind to those who are different from others. Rather than shy away from the spotlight, guess what? Yu stepped right into it. At 7 years old, he played a role in a Chinese adaptation of Tarzan, as he didn't need much makeup to look like the characters. He immediately became a global sensation, known for his talent and his unique features. But Yu didn't stop at acting. He also ventured into the music industry, where he formed a rock band as the music lead singer. With a voice as terse as his appearance, Yu rocked the stage. However, living a life as the world's hairiest man wasn't easy, as he faced a lot of challenges from stares and whispers from strangers. And also trying to fit all the hair into a helmet, or dealing with a bad day that could last a long time. Despite his charming attitude, Yu's condition came with some medical complications, as excess hair growth can be very uncomfortable and lead to skin issues. But he didn't let that define him. He still handled it with determination. He even went for several treatments to reduce his hair, although he made sure not to touch his furry charm. Yu Zhenhuan is seen as more than just a man with an extraordinary amount of hair. He's an example of using one's differences in a unique way. Robert Wadlow. Imagine walking into a room feeling like a dwarf among giants. That's how it was for everyone who came across Robert Wadlow, the tallest man in history who stood at a shocking 8 feet 11.1 inches tall. Like most first-time parents, Harold and Addie Wadlow eagerly awaited the birth of their first child. On February 22, 1918, in a little 5-room cottage on Monroe, Robert Wadlow was born, weighing an average 8 pounds, 6 ounces. Though Robert was not your average infant, by the time he was 6 months old, he weighed nearly 30 pounds. By 18 months, he had reached 67 pounds. But what would account for such an incredible growth at such an early stage? Robert's height was due to a condition called gigantism, which was caused by an overactive pituitary gland. This tiny gland manages the body growth, but in Robert's case, it was on a permanent coffee break, sprouting out growth hormones like it was never going to stop. At age 5, he was already towering over his fellow mate in school at 5 feet 4 inches. Imagine the poor teacher trying to place everyone in line. It was not until Robert was 12 that doctors at Washington University School of Medicine maintained a record of his height and weight. As he grew older, so did the challenges as it became too difficult for him. He needed leg braces to walk, and his family had to make adjustments to their home to make things fit his height. Goodbye, low door frames. As Robert grew older, he became a celebrity in his locality. He once toured with the Ringling Brothers Circus, showcasing his height and charm. But let's talk about something just as impressive as his height. Robert's feet were so long, they were indeed a legend of their own right. Measuring a mind-blowing 18.5 inches long, his feet needed a size that would frustrate a shoe cobbler while working. A size 37 AA. Maybe we should put that in perspective. His shoes were the size of a medium pizza, and very hard to find. Finding shoes that would fit Robert wasn't about strolling into a nearby shoe store. His footwear was custom-made, and it took a lot of hard work to cover those feet. His shoes were more like small boats when he walked. You could hear the thuds of his gigantic footsteps from a far distance. But the most interesting thing is he took it all in stride, of course. He never had to worry about someone else borrowing them. And while his 37s were full of challenges, they were part of what made him who he was. Despite his fame, Robert was always seen spending time with friends, even if they had to stand on a chair to talk to him. Sadly, life for Robert wasn't all glitz and glamour. His height came with serious health challenges. On July 6, 1940, Robert became ill at a hotel in Manistee, Michigan, while touring with his father. Chafing from a brace worn on his ankle had caused a blister that eventually led to a serious infection. Robert was running a very high fever, and his mother and youngest brother, Harold Jr., flew to Michigan to see him. His temperature rose to 106 degrees, and Robert was never able to recover from the infection. On July 15, 19, Robert died peacefully in his sleep. It was a true tragedy indeed. His coffin was 10 feet 9 inches long, definitely not the average casket. Across the street at the Alton Museum of History and Art, his legacy lives on through the Wadlow exhibit. So, when next you feel a little out of pace, just remember Robert Wadlow, who turned his gigantic height into a legacy of kindness and a whole lot of heart. Subscriber's pick. In a particular town, two extraordinary individuals with unique body features have come to give a different meaning of perception. One, known for an extraordinarily large chest, didn't see the bad side of it, but rather turned her personal challenges into a powerful mission of positivity and enablement through fashion shows and charity work. As her physicality became a source of stare and gossip, she embraced her uniqueness rather than shy away from the world. She turned what others saw as oddity into a sign of confidence and self-acceptance. On the other hand, there is a man with incredibly muscular legs who requires a custom walking stick, using his condition as an inspiration that those with extraordinary body features can still stand out. But what really intrigued everyone was the story that lies in the smile of these two figures who seemed to represent the very essence of the extraordinary. Together, They became legends of the bizarre yet beautiful differences that exist within the human body. But could it be that the very features that make us stand out are the ones that make us extraordinary? Share your thoughts in the comment section as we explore these bizarre people with extraordinary body parts. Frank Lentini. Imagine walking into a circle and suddenly you spot a man with 3 legs moving around like the whole world belongs to him. Well, this is the case with Frank Lentini, a man who called the attention of everyone, not just because of his extra leg. A man born in Sicily in 1818, 19 into a family of 12 children, had an astonishing claim to fame. You see, Frank Lentini had 3 legs. But that's not all. He also had 4 feet and 2 sets of genitals. Frank was born with a parasitic twin, a condition where twin embryos form in the womb but don't fully separate. This can result in one person having extra body parts. At age 8, his family relocated to the United States, where he eventually became a circus sensation known as the Great Lentini. For more than 40 years, he captured the audience with his unique skill that could rival even a stand-up comedian. Imagine kicking a football with one leg while jogging on a spot with the other 2. Isn't that a multitasking legend? Despite his extraordinary appearances, Lentini was not just an icon, he was a loving husband and a caring father. In 1907, he married actress Teresa Murray, and together they had 4 kids, and none of them had extra limbs. In 1908, he toured the whole world in local legends and even went back to Rossellini. While there weren't many interviews with Frank Lentini, he did write a mini autobiography for his fans. In this booklet, the Sicilian wrote that his 3rd leg never bothered him. In fact, he could move like a normal person and he could do anything, like jump or run. But he had to buy 2 pairs of shoes every time. The one extra left shoe, Frank gave it to a friend of his who had lost the right leg. So, nothing was wasted in the making of this legend. Finally, he writes about his parents and their initial shock when they saw their abnormal son. Still, when they understood that Frank could do anything, they started accepting it. Frank Lentini was happy with his life, spent traveling around the world and with a supportive family. He never regretted anything, and he died just as happy in Florida on September 21, 1966, at the age of 77. His native town of Rossellini still celebrates and remembers the 3-legged Sicilian. 50 years after Lentini's death, his hometown celebrated Memorial Day to honor his memory. Even his family from the United States showed up. Visitors toured the town, visited Francesco's places, and they inaugurated a painting exhibition. On the exact day of his death, locals and curious people visited the cemetery for a final homage as his legacy continues to inspire people. After all, if a man with 3 legs can kick life's challenges, what can stop the rest of us? Mehmet Ozyurek. Setting a world record is a truly remarkable feat, one that will put you in the history books for a very long time. But achieving a record for the longest nose in the world is probably not a goal you would have dreamed of when growing up. And before you ask, no, the record does not belong to Pinocchio. But we can almost guarantee that none of the people who spring to mind will have a nose as big as Wetter's. Mehmet Ozyurek, the man known for having the world's longest nose, was born on October 17, 1949 in Arvin, Turkey. His nose impressively measures 3.46 inches, that is 8.8 centimeters from bridge to tip. Now that's the kind of nose that can sniff out a bakery from a distance away. But Mehmet didn't just wake up one day and meet his nose like that. No, this condition is something he has lived with all his life. Mehmet said his distinctive large nose was a family trait, but the cause of it was never known. He said, "It's a genetic condition as far as I understand. There was no explanation by doctors, but I have it in my family, so my father has it, my uncles have it, I have it." With this, one could tell that his nose in particular was destined for fame. He's always had love for his unique feature, even though he was cruelly taunted about it in his younger years. He said, "My friends used to call me Big Nose to upset me, but I looked at myself in the mirror and I discovered myself." He eventually embraced his uniqueness, viewing it as a blessing rather than a curse. His extraordinary olfactory abilities were another point of pride. He claimed to detect scents that others couldn't. Not just that, Mehmet's nose also earned him recognition from Guinness World Records multiple times, first in 2001 and again in 2010, when his last measurement was reaffirmed. Mehmet's journey was filled with humor and acceptance until he passed away on May 18, 2023. Despite several medical interventions, he died shortly before he could undergo a scheduled surgery. Balaji. Imagine being born with an extraordinary feature that sets you apart. Let us talk about a 14-year-old boy who is literally the tale of the town. Balaji, also known as Arshid Ali Khan, is a boy from India who was highly known for something really extraordinary. A tail, yes, you heard that right. Balaji was born with a fleshy tail, as long as 7 inches growing from his back. It was as a result of a rare congenital condition that quickly set him apart from the rest. But the truth is, what made Balaji's story more fascinating is not just his body features, but how it connects with superstition, faith, and a little bit of divine misunderstanding. Balaji's tail wasn't just a mere birth effect. It immediately became a matter of spiritual significance. When the villagers saw the tail, they didn't condemn it, but rather they respected him as a living representation of Lord Hanuman, also known as the Hindu monkey god, known for his power, devotion, and yeah, his tail. Imagine waking up as a child one day, just to be considered a god. It sounds like it's a dream come true, right? But for Balaji, it was a mixture of blessing and more of a burden. Somehow he was showered with gifts, respect, and even worship. And on the other hand, the attention was surprising, with people coming from far away to see this miracle child. For a while, Balaji's life was all about rituals and reverence. The local temple even offered him a special seat where people would assemble to touch his feet, pray, or ask for blessings. But Balaji never wanted to be treated like a god, as he always saw himself as a normal kid. As he grew older, his growing tail caused him a serious health challenge, which made him unable to walk well. Luckily for him, doctors from Fortis Hospital offered to remove Balaji's tail at no cost. The surgery lasted for 7 hours, and after a successful operation, he was able to walk and run like other kids. However, there was one big problem. Balaji had lost his status as a monkey god. His grandfather, Iqbal Qureshi, had to change his name back to Arshid Ali Khan, which ended his association with Hindu festivals. Well, it was a happy moment for Balaji, who wants to be seen as a regular kid. Yujanshia? Have you ever thought of what it would be like to have eyelashes that could double as a scarf? Well, you do not need to wonder anymore. Yujanshia defines that. She has broken her own record as the woman with the longest eyelashes in the world, not once, but twice. Janshia's journey with her unique eyelashes began at birth, but at 2015, she noticed they started growing longer and longer. Despite consulting various medical professionals, none could provide a scientific explanation for her excess eyelashes growth. Yujanshia believes the eyelashes are a gift given by the Buddha. She said, "I kept thinking about why I have such long eyelashes. Then I remembered that I had spent over 480 days in the mountain years ago." She also believes her eyelashes give her strength. She believes there might be some connections between her long lashes and a stronger body. She said, "I am in fair health now, but when I was born, I was relatively weak. Now I feel quite good, and many people think I look younger." But Yujanshia's lashes aren't just for the fun of it. They've earned her a spot in the Guinness World Records, making her the reigning queen of long lashes. Yujanshia has held the Guinness World Record title since June 28, 2016. At that time, her eyelash measured 12.4 centimeters on the upper eyelid of her left eye. but she continued to grow her eyelashes. While all of her eyelashes are particularly long, this time, the longest among them all was once again on the upper eyelid of her left eye. As the years go by, Yu Jiangxia's eyelashes kept on growing and defying expectations. In May 2021, her eyelashes measured an astonishing 20.5 centimeter, which was more than 8 centimeters longer than the previous record. Talking about whether the eyelashes cause her discomfort, she said they bring only joy, no trouble. In her daily life, Yu Jianxia saw her lashes as a blessing rather than a burden. She joked that they saved her precious time from applying makeup, as her natural eyelashes acted as a built-in eyeliner. Her positive attitude and willingness to share her story have made her an inspiration to those with unique features, encouraging them to celebrate their individuality. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.